Hello and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep IAS. Let's get started and look into our daily quiz. Before we start with the practice questions for the day, we have an announcement. Byju's Exam Prep IAS would be conducting National Scholarship Test, which is scheduled to be conducted on 26th of February 2023 at 11 a.m. What is that you have to do? Link will be given in the description box. Give the necessary information and you would be able to win some attractive scholarships. Let's get started and look into the first question. With respect to Sangeet Natak Academy, which of the following statements are correct? It is the first National Academy of the Arts set up by the Republic of India. Its first chairman was Dr. Sadashiva Rao. Sangeet Natak Academy is an autonomous body of the Ministry of Culture. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is 1 and 3 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the PIB makes a reference to the Sangeet Natak Academy, which is why we have taken this practice question. Let us try and understand what are these statements. When you look into the first statement, it reads, it is the first National Academy of the Arts set up by the Republic of India. This happens to be the right statement. When we look into the Sangeet Natak Academy, this happens to be the apex body in the field of performing arts. What is this performing arts? This basically includes music, dance, drama, so on and so forth. So in the year 1953, what we had was Sangeet Natak Academy being established for what? For the preservation and promotion of vast intangible culture of our country in the form of preservation of music, dance and drama. So representing the diverse culture of the country, preservation of these diverse culture was the major intention of the Sangeet Natak Academy, and this happens to be the first National Academy of the Arts set up by the Republic of India. When you look into the second statement, its first chairman was Dr. Sadashiv Rao. This happens to be a wrong statement. Why? Because the first chairman was Dr. P.V. Rajamannar and it is not Sadashiva Rao. So the second statement is wrong. When you look into the third statement, yes, Sangeet Natak Academy happens to be an autonomous body of the Ministry of Culture. We have the chairman of the academy who is appointed by the president for a term of about 5 years. This is again important from the preliminary examination point of view. And when we consider the Sangeet Natak Academy, it also presents an award. This award is called as Sangeet Natak Academy Award and they happen to be the highest national recognition conferred on the practicing artists. If they are good at dance, they're good at drama or they're good at music, they would be provided the Sangeet Natak Academy. There are other important facts as well. Sangeet Natak Academy has three constituent parts. Two of these being dance teaching institutions. One happens to be Jawaharlal Nehru Manipur Dance Academy at Imphal. The other happens to be Kathak Kendra in Delhi, and this has its origin in Manipur Dance College established by the Government of India in 1954. Funded by the Academy since its inception, it became a constituent unit of the Academy in 1957. Similarly, the Kathak Kendra is one of the leading teaching institutions in Kathak dance located in Delhi. It offers courses at various levels in Kathak dance and in vocal music and Pankaj. These are some of the important facts that you have to remember from the preliminary examination point of view. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statements with respect to lab-grown diamonds. LGDs have physical and optical properties similar to that of the natural diamonds. It takes more energy to extract a natural diamond from the earth than to create a lab-grown diamond. Which of the statements given above are correct? The answer to this is both. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the PIB makes a reference to the lab grown diamonds, which is why we have taken this practice question. Now the question is, what is this lab grown diamond? We have a diamond which is the natural diamond. How is this done? This is excavated. This is taken by the process of mining. There are large number of people who are employed and ultimately the diamonds are mined. But when it comes to lab grown diamonds, as the very name denotes, these are the diamonds that are grown in the laboratory settings, which means they will have the same physical chemical properties. The look will be similar. There'll be same characteristics as that of the natural diamond. So the first statement, that is the lab grown diamonds have physical and optical properties similar to that of the natural diamonds. Yes, this statement is right. The first lab grown diamond was created back in the year 1954 by scientists at a General Electric Research Laboratory in New York. When we look into the second statement, it takes more energy to extract a natural diamond from the earth than to create a lab grown diamond. This statement once again is right, which means to take out or mine the natural diamond, what we require is huge amount of energy, and the ecological footprint or the environmental impact or the amount of carbon emissions when it comes to the natural diamond is far more excess as well in comparison to the lab grown diamond. So when we speak about ecological environmental impact, it is far less when it comes to the lab grown diamonds in comparison to the natural ones. If we have to consider the uses of the lab grown diamonds, due to their superior thermal conductivity, pure synthetic diamonds are employed as heat spreaders for high power laser diamonds and high power transistors in electronics. They are used as cutters and in other tools and machinery. They are often employed in industrial settings because of their strength and hardnesses. So basically they are used in industrial application due to their hardness. They are ideally used as cutters and in other tools as well, and in electronics as well. Pure synthetic diamonds are used as heat spreaders for high power laser diodes. So what is the significance? Lesser environmental impact. Open pit mining produces a lot of waste and causes environmental damage such as soil erosion and air pollution. This may not occur in the lab grown diamonds. Also do note, when it comes to India, we make a lot of imports of the diamonds. What if we are able to make the lab grown diamonds, which means the import of the diamonds will also reduce, and we shelling out on our foreign reserve will also reduce as well. That is why the government of India has come up with this particular proposal to give more money when it comes to the research and development of the lab grown diamonds. As part of the assignment, you have to put on the comment section which country is the largest exporter of diamonds from its country to another country. Please put it on the comment section. Now let's look into the next practice question. Which of the following operations of the Railway Protection Force are correctly matched? Operation AAHT against the smugglers involved in the illegal trade of wildlife. Operation Amanat, rescue of children. Operation Nanhe Farishte, initiative to make it easier for the passengers to get back their lost luggage. Operation Willop, rescuing women and children from the clutches of traffickers. Which of them are correctly matched? The answer to this is none. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the PIB makes a reference to Operation Nanhe Farishte as well as Operation AAHT. What is this Operation Nanhe Farishte? This happens to be an initiative taken by the Railway Protection Force. So what is Operation Nanhe Farishte? It is about rescue of the children. What is Operation AAHT? This is for rescuing women and children from the clutches of the traffickers. And then what we have is Operation Amanat. So what is this Operation Amanat? Let's say for example, people might be traveling from one place to another. As they move from one place to another, they'll carry huge loads of luggage. They may forget at times, they may misplace it at times, so they may lose their luggages. So how is that we are going to safeguard this? In case they are lost, they are taken care by the Railway Protection Force, and after making the due investigation, if it belongs to a particular family or a person, the same will be given back. So when it comes to Operation Amanat, it is an initiative to make it easier for the passengers to get back their lost luggage. And finally, what we have is Operation Willop. Operation Willop, what does it do? It engages in preventing the smuggling of some of the wildlife, animal parts, and the forest products. What exactly happens? From the source to the destination, there are smugglers who actually move these kind of products like the wildlife products, smuggling of wildlife, animal parts, forest produce, so on and so forth. Preventing this is also very important. So what they have come up with is called as the Operation Willop. So Operation AAHT is basically about rescuing women and children from the clutches of the traffickers. And when we speak about Operation Amanat is an initiative to make it easier for the passengers to get back their lost luggage. Operation Nanhe Farishte is about rescue of children, and Operation Willop is against the smugglers involved in the illegal trade of wildlife. Since none of it is correctly matched, all the statements are wrong, so none would be the answer. And as part of the assignment, you have to put on the comment section what is Operation Satark. What is Operation Satark of the Railway Protection Force is what you have to put on the comment section. And if there are any similar other operations, there are many, which are these operations, please put it on the comment section. And also note, this PIB article makes a reference to the Jaipur Declaration. So this Jaipur Declaration was adopted at the 18th World Security Congress, jointly organized by the Railway Protection Force and UIC. This is with respect to the railway. This can also be probably asked in your preliminary examination. Now let's look into the next practice question. With respect to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, which of the following statements are correct? The offices of Speaker and Deputy Speaker originated in India under the Government of India Act of 1935. First Indian and first elected Speaker of the Central Legislative Assembly happens to be Vittalbhai J. Patel. The Speaker can be removed if a resolution is passed by a majority of all the members of the Lok Sabha, that is, by absolute majority and not by ordinary majority. Which of the statements are correct? The answer to this is 2 only. Why have we taken this practice question? Because this article on the Indian Express makes a reference to the Lok Sabha Speaker, which is why we have taken this practice question. Let us try and understand what are these statements. When you look into the first statement, the offices of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker originated in India under the Government of India Act of 1935. This statement is wrong. Why? That is because it is the Government of India Act of 1919. It is not 1935, but instead it is 1919. So the first statement is wrong. When you look into the second statement, yes, first Indian and first elected Speaker of the Central Legislative Assembly happens to be Vittalbhai J. Patel. This statement is right. When you look into the third statement, it is not absolute majority, but it is effective majority. There is a thin line of difference between absolute majority and effective majority. If you are reading Lakshmikant and if it is given absolute majority, remember it is wrong. Why? Because it is effective majority. We have Article 94. What does it read? Vacation and resignation from the offices of the Speaker. Look at clause C. It says may be removed from his office by a resolution of the House of the People passed by a majority of all then members of the House. Then members of the House basically means it is effective majority. What is the difference between effective majority and absolute majority? Let me simplify this process. Let's say, for example, there are about 500 members of the parliament in the Lok Sabha. What is the absolute majority? Absolute majority will be 251, which is nothing but the majority of the members. What is a majority of 500? It is 250 plus 1, so 251. But what is effective majority? Let's say, for example, during that particular period, let's say for example today, as of today, the number of parliamentarians in the Lok Sabha, let's say hypothetically, it is about 400. It is not 500, it is 400. Let's assume it is 400. So what will be the effective majority? Then members of the House. What is the majority in 400? It is 200 plus 1. So it will be 201. So effective majority is then members of the House, but there can be 100 members who are not present. That particular particular seat may have gone for the by-elections. There might not be there might have been people who would have passed away as well. So in that case, what is the number of people who are then present, which means out of 400, what will be the majority? That is what is considered, which is effective majority, and it is not absolute majority, which is why the third statement is also wrong. And in few editions of Lakshmikant, it is given as absolute majority. So remember, it is wrong, but it is effective majority. Now let's look into the next practice question. Consider the following statements. The annual range of temperature is greater in the Pacific Ocean than that in the Atlantic Ocean. The annual range of temperature is greater in the northern hemisphere than that in the southern hemisphere. Which of the statements given above are correct? The answer to this is 2 only. This happens to be a previous year question from the year 2007. Why is the first statement wrong? That is because the annual range of temperature is lesser in the Pacific Ocean than that of the Atlantic Ocean. That is because the Pacific Ocean is far larger than the Atlantic Ocean. Thus, the impact of land masses is much smaller on the Pacific Ocean than on the Atlantic Ocean. So the first statement is wrong. Now let's look into the fact of the day. The fact of the day for today's discussion is Food Corporation of India. So the Food Corporation of India happens to be a statutory body. This is very important from the preliminary examination point of view. And this comes under the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution. When was it set up? It was set up back in the year 1965. How? By passing one of the laws called as the Food Corporation Act of 1964. What was the objective? The objective was fulfilling various aspects of national food policy at that particular moment. So the objectives of the Food Corporation of India includes proper price support to protect the interests of the poor farmers, effective distribution of food grains through the public distribution system, maintenance of operational and buffer stocks of food grains to ensure continued supply of essential food supply, regulation of market price for food grains so that the population can get them at an affordable price. So we have an organizational structure of the Food Corporation of India. It is led by a chairman. It operates through many depots located across the length and breadth of the country. These depot reports to a divisional office which is headed by an assistant general manager. The FCI is divided into 5 zones: north, south, east, west and northeast. They all have their own zonal offices. Under the zonal offices are the regional offices which are headed by an executive director usually selected from the Indian Administrative Service or the Indian Revenue Service. Why does the Food Corporation of India maintain the stock of the food grains? As we initially discussed, one is to make sure that there is proper price support that is provided to the farmers. These farmers grow the crops and they have to be given a particular price for their produce. So which is the primary reason we have the Food Corporation of India which maintains the stock of the food grains. And the other reason being, let's say for example, we have couple of wars, or let's say for example there is international crisis that is happening. To give you an example, we have the Ukraine Russian crisis. What exactly happened? We had the inflation. When inflation happened, there was sudden spike of the crop prices as well. So we had wheat prices which suddenly increased. So during this particular period, people should not feel the vagaries of the international market. So the Food Corporation of India makes sure that there is enough storage of all these crops so that people would be given the crops at the Indian level. Added to it, we also know for the fact that we have the National Food Security Act. We also have the public distribution system. So people are provided food as a welfare scheme and program of the government of India, which is why we have the Food Corporation of India which stores these crops as well. So this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.